Hello, dear students. Today in this class, we will discuss about the enantiomeric separation of selenium-methionine. So, actually, selenium-methionine, where we are discussing about the enantiomeric separation of selenium-methionine. So, actually, selenium-methionine is a compound of the category amino acid, and this amino acid contains selenium elements in the side chain of amino acid, and its enantiomers R and S enantiomer of selenium-methionines have different chemical properties in chiral environments. While we take this compound as a supplement in our body, then its enantiomers R and S have different properties. Okay. For example, one enantiomer may interact with the receptor site present in our body, while the another may be may interact or may not be interact or may show side effects. Okay, and it is used for the for the treatment of various type of serious diseases, right? So, learning objective of this lecture is to understand the direct and indirect TLC and explanation methods for separation of amino acids like methionine. And actually, the resolution of the enantiomer of the methionine is based actually on the parameter that is hydrophobic character. This is responsible for the resolution of S and R enantiomer. When we react this methionine with the HADR chiral diazoxide results, then it is converted into the diastereomer, and diastereomers have the different physical and chemical properties. But of these physical properties, the hydrophobic character of R and S, the diastereomers have different, and they differently interact with the HPLC column for the stationary phase of the column. Okay, so if they interact differently or the up to different extent, then they will elute from the column at different time. That means the retention time are different. Okay, but this depends upon the hydrophobic characters of the these diastereomer of these R and S enantiomer of selenium-methionine. Because on the basis of hydrophobic character, their distributions are different between the mobile phase and the stationary phase. Okay, so learning outcomes from this class is actually student would be able to separate enantiomers of selenium-methionine amino acid means here amino acid we are taking is selenium-methionine from its racemic mixture, or if it is not racemic mixture, then we can also separate from the any mixture of the enantiomers. Okay. If once a learner get the information about the separation of the genetioma, they would be capable to achieve job in pharmaceutical industries, because in the pharmaceutical industries the quality of drugs is very important. Okay, nowadays companies or pharmaceutical industries are trying to make uh, medically pure drug, right? Because it is very important. It is very the one that the our body is chiral, right? Our body is chiral. Both is constituted by the amino acids, and amino acids are actually the chiral compounds, except the glycine. Okay, so these amino acids found in our body in the form of proteins, and whenever we take a drug in our body, then chiral drug, then in our body, then this chiral drug will interact with the chiral part of our body. Okay, and they both the enantiomer R and S enantiomer are differently interacting in our body, right? So that's why it is very important, because only one enantiomer is the more active. One enantiomer is more active in our body, while the rest, I mean the another enantiomer is not too much reactive as the first. Okay, now the enantiomer separation of selenium methionine using HPLC and TLC we will discuss in this lecture here. So the first method is enantiomeric separation of direct enantiomeric separation of selenium methionine by RP real-stage HPLC using a new chiral reagents. This is based on S-naproxen moiety. Effervescent is actually the chirally pure, that is enantiomerically pure compound, and this is used to prepare chiral derotizing reagents, and that derotizing reagents will now then reacted with the RS mixture of the selenium right, in the following conditions. So this is the scheme for synthesis of nephroxam, thalidomide, chiral derotizing reagents, and that reagents now they used for the synthesis of diastereomers of the selenium thionine. So here, this is chiral moiety, that is S-neproxam. S-neproxam, when reacted with the N-hydroxythalamide, then there is actually the condensation reaction. By the condensation reaction between these two groups, there is formation of these are actually the carboxylic group and hydroxy group. So by the condensation reaction between hydroxy and carboxylic group, there is formation of ester group. So this is the ester, right? And this is the chiral derotizing results formed by the reaction of N-hydroxythilamide and S-naproxen. This chiral derotizing results is more active than the S-naproxen, right? So this derotizing reagents when interact further with the racemic form of the selenomethionine, that is DL-selenomethionine. We can nomenclate the chiral compounds by various systems like DL system, by small DL system, capital DL system. Here D means dextro and the first chiral group is present at the right hand side, while the L-selenomethionine means the first chiral group is present on the left hand side. But if we talk about its the small DL nomenclature system. That means small d means the enantiomer rotating plane polarized light in dextro-rotating is in clockwise direction, while the L, small l form is rotating the plane polarized light in in anti-clockwise direction, right? So after reacting DL-methionine with chiral derotizing reagents, there is formation of two diastereomers. First is SD diastereomer, second is SL diastereomers. Here, the first letter S is the configuration of this chiral center of nephrogen, while the D, D is actually the configuration of the chiral center of this selenomethionine moiety, right? So here two chiral centers are present. First one is here and second one is here. And these are the configuration of these centers. And here as in the SL diastereomer, the S letter is for the configuration of this chiral center, while L is configuration of this chiral center. Okay. Now these diastereomer actually the DL and D and L selenium enantiomers are not showing different physical and chemical property except the rotation of the plane polarized light. But if we talk about the diastereomer, then diastereomers shows different physical and chemical properties in either chiral environment or in also in the chiral environment. So whenever we put these diastereomers in the chiral column, sorry, not in the reverse phase space column, then they interact differently with the stationary phase of the column and mobile phase also. So elute at different time. These are the reaction conditions for synthesis of diastereomers. The mole ratio of selenomethionine and the CDR was taken in 1:2 to prevent the kinetic dissolution. Okay, and the kinetic resolution means there is actually the enantiomers of DL enantiomers differently interact with the current resistance. Okay, so ऐसी पॉसिबिलिटी हो सकती है कि वन एनिशोमर तो बहुत ज्यादा रिएक्ट कर जाए, सेकंड एनिशोमर ऐसे ऐसे बचा रह जाए, बट इसीलिए इसीलिए That's the condition where the selenomethionine and CDR to prevent from this situation. And over this situation, selenomethionine and CDR was interacted in 1:2, right? Means CDR is now taken in excess double times to that of the concentration of the selenomethionine, right? And the pH of the medium, reaction medium was the TEA at a pH around 11. So TEA, triethylamine was taken as base or as the buffer compound to make the pH around 11, right? Now, the reaction was carried out under microwave irradiation conditions. This compound, this reaction was carried out in the microwave condition, not in the conventional method. Okay. So at microwave condition, this reaction was carried out for 40 seconds at 80% power at 800 watt. Okay. So and the vortex, another method we also used for the synthesis of diastereomers, and that is vortex method. So we vortex the solution for around 10 minutes at 500 RPM. So after the 10-minute reaction, these diastereomers were formed at optimum condition or the optimum level, right? After the synthesis of diastereomers, these were actually these were put for separation in the in the expression column, and the column used for separation of this compound, these enantiomers, or the diastereomer of this selenium enantiomer are actually the column is here used was liquid space setting column of the dimension 250 multiplied by 4.6 multiplied by ID, that is ID is 5 micrometer particle size here, okay? And the mobile phase was taken as TEAP. TEAP means here TEAP used as as buffer, and the TEAP buffer the pH of the TEAP buffer was 3.4. And the second component of the mobile phase taken was acetonitrile. Okay? This is the organic modifier, and this acetonitrile and TFE these were taken in a linear graded mode. Okay, where acetonitrile the concentration or the ratio of acetonitrile was varied from 25 to 65%. Means in the starting of the chromatographic run, the 25% of the acetonitriles was the running in the mobile phase, while at the end of the run, the 65% of the acetonitrile was running. Okay, and also carried out the chromatographic run under isotopic conditions where acetonitrile and PEP buffering 60 to 40% ratio was taken. Okay, and the chromatographic run was carried out for 45 minutes at a flow rate of 1 ml per minute. Means here the mobile phase flowed at the rate 1 ml per minute. And detection was met. Means chromatographic detection was met around 231 nanometer, right? Okay, and here after the chromatographic run, we got the peaks of the compound at the 33.467 minutes of the first diastereomer, that is SD diastereomer, and for SL diastereomer, the the peak was appeared at 38.750 minute. Okay, these are the retention times of the compound. Means retention time means for what time the compounds means diastereomers retain in the chromatographic column or interacting with the chromatographic column, and after this time, or we can say that at 33.467 minute, these the diasteromer emitted from the column and reach at the detector. Okay, So detector sense these diastereomers and there is the observance of the peak at this position. Okay. So here the SD diastereomers is eluted first and SL diasteromer eluted later. Okay. This is because of their hydrophobicity different. This can be explained here. Here, if we can see that the hydrophobic part of the center, this is CS3, and the hydrophobic part of the center, you know, this these are actually at the opposite of the plane. Opposite of the plane means this group is going away from the viewer, and this is coming towards the viewer. Okay, so this is actually at this position. These groups are actually in the trans position, while in this case, these groups are present in the cis position. Both are actually in the same plane. Both are in the below the plane, or you can say away from the viewer. Okay, so this is compound. This is cis compound actually, and this is compounds have more hydrophobicity than compared to the trans compound. And those diastereomers which have the more hydrophobicity will interact for more time in the reverse phase SPNC column, because the reverse phase SPNC column contains more hydrophobic stationary phase, more hydrophobic stationary phase, because we are here you can see that there is C18 column. C18 column means 18 carbon containing species is present in the column, which is interacting with the diastereomers. So there is actually the 18 carbon containing hydrocarbon chain, and the hydrocarbon chain is this is non-polar, that is hydrophobic. So, according to the same rule makes the same type of species interact with the type of, same type of species for more time. Okay, और हम कह सकते हैं जैसे लाइक डिजोल्व लाइक वाला कॉन्सेप्ट होता है कि सेम को डिजोल्व करता है, जैसे पोलर पोलर कंपाउंड पोलर पोलर सॉल्वेंट पोलर पोलर को डिजोल्व करता है, नॉन पोलर को डिजोल्व नहीं करता है, तो ऐसे ही पोलर पोलर के साथ इंटरेक्शन करता है, नॉन पोलर के साथ इंटरेक्शन करता है, ये हम कहें मोर हाइड्रोफोबिक कंपाउंड विल इंटरेक्ट for more time to the more hydrophobic stationary phase. Okay, these are the chromatographic data. This is the retention factor of first diaster, that is 10.68, and this is the retention factor of the second immediate diaster, that is 12.52. Okay, and this is the selectivity factor for, or we can say separation factor for diaster, that is 1.17. Okay, and the resolution of these enantiomers is 22.57. So resolution means how far these peaks are appeared in the chromatogram. Okay, so these are actually their hues depend. This peak is appearing at 33.467 time retention time, while this is at 38.75. So huge difference is there, and we can here clearly see here that these peaks are separated clearly. There is no merging of the peaks, right? There is no overlapping of the peaks. They are clearly separated. Means resolution or the separation of the enantiomers of DL-methionine is very good. This is very good. And according to the rules of separation, photographic separation, if the resolution value is greater than 1, then resolution is good. If it is around 1, then it is adequate. And if it is less than 1, then it is poor resolution. Okay. But here the resolution value is 22 around 22. So this is very good, very high than the value, standard parameter. Okay. Now, the second process is indirect initial separation of silonomethane batch calcium TLC using 1,5-difluoro-2,4-dinitro-benzene, DFDNB. The short name of 1,5-difluoro-2,4-dinitrobenzene is DFDNB, based CDRs. Means here cattle derivation results used here or prepared here are based on DFDNB. Here, these diastereomers or these cattle derivation results containing L-methionine, S-benzyl cysteine, and L-phenylalanine as auxiliaries. These are actually the chirally pure amino acids we have taken as chiral auxiliary to prepare chiral derivatizing reagents. So this is L-methionine. This contains CS2, CS2, CS3 as side chain. This L-methionine reacts whenever this reacts with 1,5-difluoro 2,4-dinitrobenzene, then it produces chiral derivatizing reagents where by this reaction, actually this reaction is the example of electrophilic substitution reaction because here that is not electrophilic, sorry, that is nucleophilic substitution reaction where this NH2 group substituted the fluoride group, this fluorine atom. When this NH2 group substituted this fluorine atom, then there is the NH2 group, which is directly attached with this amine group directly attached with this ring carbon. So this is chiral derivatizing reagent. Chiral derivatizing reagent means this is the reagent of chiral center, and that is chirally pure. Okay, and used for the preparation of diastereomers of the analyte. Here in our study, the analyte is DL-selenomethionine. This short name of and the abbreviation of the selenomethionine is SEMET. Okay. So now, by the reaction of DL-selenomethionine with chiral derivatizing results, there are the formation of two diastereomers. One is LL diastereomers, while another is LD diastereomer. The LL diastereomers here contain two chiral centers, that is one. This is from L-methionine, and that is second, that is chiral center of selenomethionine. Means here L, if L selenomethionine, L enantiomer of the selenomethionine react with chiral derivatizing reagents, then there is formation of LL diastereomer. While if D isomer of the selenomethionine react with chiral derivatizing reagents, then it produces LD diastereomer, where L is the configuration of this L-methionine amino acids, and this is from selenomethionine D. If you see here in the structure of these compounds, this diastereomer, then we can see easily here. Then this LL diastereomer is actually the here this is carboxylic group, this is polar group, and this is coming towards V1. Okay, those groups which are coming towards V1, which they are presented by the solid line. Okay, and those which are away from the viewer are shown by dotted line or the black line. Okay, so here this is the hydrophobic group ten carbon 10 containing group, and this is hydrophobic group. So here the hydrophobic groups and CWS group are present in the same plane with respect to the plane of this ring, the DNP ring. Okay, so if you talk about the hydrophobic group of the center and hydrophobic group of this center, then these hydrophobic groups are present opposite to the plane of this ring. It is downward of the plane, and there is upward of the plane. Okay, so this is trans compound, and if we see in this compound here, then both the hydrophobic groups they are present in the same side. Means they are in the below of the plane of the ring. Okay. So here both the hydrophobic groups are in the same side. So this is called cis isomer. So cis diastomers have the more hydrophobic character than the trans diastomer. This is trans diastomer and this is cis diastomer. So cis diastomer will interact for more time to the reverse phase Scalzi column, or we can say the C18 column, or we can say the C18 stationary phase. Okay. So if this will interact for more time with the Scalzi column, then it will retain for more time in the column, and it will, its retention time will be more. Okay. So its peak will observe, in the chromatogram later, while its peak appear earlier. Okay. The reaction condition for synthesis of the diastereomer is mole ratio of selenomethionine into CDR was taken 1:1.7. Okay, while the microwave irradiation was In the micro-irradiation condition, this reaction was carried out at 55 or 55 seconds at 75% power, 75% power of 800 watts. Okay, and the conventional method also utilized for synthesis of diastomers using the CDR. And in the conventional method, 50 minutes stirring at 45 degrees centigrade temperature was carried out. Okay, and in these conditions, the reaction was successful. Means these diastomers were, they were formed. These were formed at optimum level. Okay. After the synthesis of these compounds under the chromatographic condition, where the linear gradient mobile phase was, this was done in the linear gradient mode, where 25 to 65% of the acetyl nitride was, varied during the run. Okay, and TFA, uh, trifluoroacetic acid, this was taken as a buffer. Okay, to maintain the pH acidic, right? And this chromatography run was carried out for 45 minutes, and the flow rate was actually 1 minute per 1 ml per minute. Okay, and detection was made at 340 nanometer. Okay, the retention time and retention factors for these diastomer one are these. Actually, the retention time in the reverse specific column, the retention time of first diastomers with L-methionine is 22.41, and with S-benzyl L16 means diastereomers swap with the methionine with chiral derivatizing reagents, where S-benzyl L16 was taken as chiral auxiliary. In that case, the TR1 is 19.43, and in case of L-phenylalanine, the TR1 is 23.993. TR1 means this is the retention time, or means retention T's time of first eluted diastereomer. Okay, and in case of first eluted diastereomer, the K1 value means retention factors value are these 8.57 with L-methionine, that is 10.04, with L-phenylalanine this is 10.78. Okay, and this is selectivity factor, separation factor for these diastereomers with these CDRs is 1.37, 1.30, 1.26, etc. And these are the resolution value of with these channel denotising agents. So the best resolution was, occurred at with the chiral denotising agents, where SBLC was chiral auxiliary, right? And we also made chromatographic run in the reverse phase TLC. Means C18 stationary phase was actually spread in the TLC in the thin layer chromatographic plates, and we run the chromatography. And after the chromatography run, this was the resolution. And these are the HRF value, and RF value means the retardation factors value. Okay, H, it means here we have multiplied the RF value by the 100. Okay, so this is HRF value, and this is the resolution value. If we compare the results with the TLC and FPLC, and with the TLC, the resolution values are very less than the reverse phase PLC. Okay, this is the TLC photograph of first line, second line, and third line. These are first line chromatogram, second line chromatogram, and third line chromatogram. These chromatograms are representing the diastereomers of DL cell methionine prepared with CDRs which have SBLC, S-benzyl L16 as chiral auxiliary. Okay, so these are the photodiastereomers of DL methionine. Okay, with SBLC, CDR, and with L-methionine, these are the chromatograms, and these are the chromatograms for L-phenylalanine as chiral auxiliary. Okay. Here the lower spot is of LD diastereomer in each case. In each case, the lower spot is of LD diastereomer, and the upper spot is of LL diastereomers. Means LL diastereomers is interacting with the reverse phase, I mean the C18 stationary phase for less time. LL diastereomers interacting with C18 stationary phase for more time. That's the reason why this is, this is migrating less distance, because those diastereomers which interact with the C18 column or the stationary phase for more time migrate less distance, while those diastereomers which interact for less time to the stationary phase will migrate for the more distance than travel. Okay. Now the sections of chromatogram of the diastema of DS mentioning here. These are the retention times. This is the peak for LD diastereomers in case of first CDR, and in case of second CDR, these are the chromatogram for second CDR. In case of third CDR, the diastereomers formed. Means these are the peaks of diastereomers which are formed by the reaction of CDRs which contain L-phenylalanine as chiral auxiliary. Okay. Now the third method is direct PLC separation of D-L-selenomethanine by using minus quinine as chiral selector. Okay. So the A and B, both the method was in indirect enantiomeric separation method. So indirect means there was no separation of the enantiomers directly. मीन्स ऐसा नहीं है कि डायरेक्टली जो है रशियन मिक्सर जो है इसका सोल्यूशन बना के कॉलम के अंदर पुट कर दे और क्रोमेटोग्राफी रन के थ्रू वो सेपरेट हो जाए. That was not the condition in case of approach number A and approach number B. So in approach of number A and approach number B, we have first derivatized these enantiomers with the chiral derivatizing regions and converted these enantiomer into the diastereomers. So enantiomers are not, we are not separating enantiomers directly. We are converted into the diastereomer of these enantiomers. So once we have converted enantiomer into the diastereomer, then and after that we are separating these diastereomers. That's the reason why we are calling those methods indirect method, right? And here there is no such type of derivatization. That here we directly separate the enantiomer in their enantiomeric form. Okay, no reaction of the enantiomer with the chiral derivatizing regions. Okay, so therefore separation of DL-selenomethanine by direct PLC thin layer chromatographic technique, we used here minus quinine means levorotatory. Levorotatory is one of the quinine. Actually, quinine also have chiral center which have the configuration minus. Means this rotate plane polarized right in anticlockwise direction. Right here, various approaches we have used in the PLC for separation of DL-selenomethanine. And the first approach, 1, 2, and 3. Three approaches are used. In the approach number A and B, the minus quinine was taken as impregnating reagents, where we have impregnated the PLC thin layer chromatographic plates by these reagents. So first we have incorporated these chiral reagents into the stationary phase, and that stationary phase was converted now chiral stationary phase. That chiral stationary phase was now used for chromatography run, and we put the spot of the solution of the DL-methylene on the PLC plate, and after that mobile phase was traveled. This was traveled on the plate, and with the mobile phase we have with the mobile phase DL enantiomer also traveled, but their traveling was of different distance. Okay, due to this different interaction of DL enantiomers with the chiral stationary phase, because enantiomers shows different physical and chemical properties in chiral environments. That's why we have produced chiral environment in the PLC plate, right? So in the first approach, mobile phase was taken this acetonitrile, methanol, and CH2Cl2, and DCl, dichloromethane, and water in this ratio, 11 ratio 1 ratio 1 ratio 1.5 volume by volume, and development time was 10 minutes. That means chromatography run was carried out for 10 minutes. Okay, and with the first approach, these were the chromatograms. These were the chromatograms observed for the enantiomers of selenium methionine. Okay, this is actually the lower spot. This lower spot is for D isomer of the selenium methionine, while the upper spot is of L enantiomer of the selenium methionine. Okay, so both these spots are clearly separated by the chromatographic run. It means we have separated this D and L enantiomer of the selenium methionine. Okay, in this second approach, mobile phase taken was in this ratio 8 ratio 1 ratio 2 ratio 1.5 in volume by volume, and development time was 9 minutes. And this was these were the chromatograms, where the lower chromatogram is for D isomer and L upper chromatogram is for this is for the L isomer. Okay, and we have also put here is photo of L isomer of the selenium. Actually, this is to check that which is for which isomer. So in the parallel of residual mixture of DL-selenium, we have here is spotted L isomer of the selenium here, and the L isomer of selenium is this. It means this parallel chromatogram is for L isomer of the selenium traveled this distance. Okay, and this in the EC approach, the mobile phase, this was taken in this ratio having 0.07% of minus 20. The chiral selector was actually taken in the third step. In the third approach, chiral selector was taken, and we have the put chiral selector in the solution of mobile phase. Okay, and chromatography run was carried out for 10 minutes. Okay, so we obtained these chromatograms here, and in the approach number D, from left to right. So this is not the approach. Actually, we have adopted here only three approaches. Okay? So this D plate is for actually for determination of the enantiomeric axis. For example, if one enantiomer is present in the axis with respect to the another enantiomer. So suppose one enantiomer we have here we have makes the T and L isomer of the D and L isomer of the selenium methionine in 1 ratio 100. In 1 ratio 100. Okay, so the isomer is taken in 1 ratio and in 100 ratio L isomer was taken. This was the mixture taken and spotted here, and after the chromatography run, these spots were observed. These chromatographs were observed. In these chromatographs, we can easily see that the minor component is also observable. Okay, or detectable. So we can also detect the minor component if this is present with the other major component. Okay, by this TLS approaches. In all approaches, actually solvent front is at centimeter, and actually the temperature at which these approaches carried out was 25 plus minus 2 degrees centigrade, and detection made in ninhydrin solution. Actually, ninhydrin detect detecting results used for detection of chromosomes was ninhydrin. Okay. For amino acids, we use ninhydrin for detection. And that ninhydrin solution was prepared 0.3% in N-butanol. Ninhydrin was actually dissolved in N-butanol in the ratio of 0.3%. And from left to right, if we see that The line one. This line one is for lower spot is here for D isomer and upper spot is for L isomer. Okay, and these are resolved from the mixture of D-isomer and two is for pure L isomer. This is for pure L isomer. This is to determine actually the illusion sequence of the enantiomer. Okay. So by TLC method, we have clearly separated these compounds, the enantiomers of the silicon and these are the chromatographic data. Means here the HRF value for an enantiomer in each approach in the approach number one, where chiral selector mixed in the slurry of silica gel before making the plate. So because before making the TLC plate, we have mixed the chiral selector is minus 20 in the slurry of the silica gel and spritted on the plate. After that, chromatography run was carried out. And in that case, the resolution value was 4.31. But in case of the B approach, there is ascending development of the plate in the solution of chiral selector. Here, we prepared chiral selector solution of the chiral selector and developed the plate in the ascending mode. And whenever we carried out the chromatographic run here, the resolution value obtained was 2.84. But in case of approach number C, here chiral selector added to mobile phase directly. Means this is chiral mobile phase editing method. And here the resolution value was 1.86, right? So these are the approaches and the mobile phases used in this ratio. Now, enantiomeric separation of DL-selenomethionine on TLC using minus phenolase chiral inducing results. So in the approach number D, this is approach number D. Here we used minus quinine chiral inducing agents. So for this approach, actually we mixed DL-selenomethionine and minus quinine in a solution. Okay, we prepared solution of minus quinine and DL-selenomethionine combinedly. Okay, mixed it means mixed chiral selector and DL-selenomethionine analyte into each other. And after mixing, these were spot of this mixer was spotted here in the plate and carried out this chromatographic run. After the run, these were the chromatogram. Lower spot for D isomer and upper spot for L isomer. Okay? This was the chromatographic condition where the acetylnitrile methanol DCM and H2 was taken in this ratio 10 ratio 1.5 ratio 0.5 ratio 1.5 volume by volume. Okay, and the solvent front was 8 centimeter. The length of the solvent front, solvent. The solvent traveled from this spot to the here upper part. This is actually the 8 centimeter distance. This is traveled by this solvent is 8 centimeter, and the distance traveled by these spots are these. Okay, in temperature at which this chromatographic run was carried out was 25 point plus minus 2 degrees centigrade, and detection was made by near Henry solution. You clearly mentioned this thing also in the previous slides that mean hydrogen is used for the detection of amino acid because amino acids are the colorless compound, so their chromatographs are not visible directly. Okay, so for making these chromatographs visible, we should, but we have to it is must condition that this should be detected. It should be detected by using detecting reagent, and here this reagent is used for detection. Okay, where 0.3% mean hydrogen was added in butanol, and the development time was 10 minutes. Okay, these are the resolution data of initial mass of selenium. Here, analyzed selenium and induction results was minus mean, and this is the mobile file. The HRF value here was for L isomer 26 and for D isomer it was 30, and resolution value was 1.69. The resolution value is greater than the one that is actually the standard value. resolution was also the good resolution obtained in this approach also, because you can easily here, you can clearly see here that the source of first and second source are clearly separated. Okay, there is no merging or overlapping of this photogram. Okay, so these are the methods which are used for the suppression, numeric suppression of the selenium by using TLC and explosive methods. Actually, TLC and explosive methods are the example of liquid chromatography method. Okay, where the mobile phase is liquid. Okay, so now MCQ. This is yeah. This is the table. This is the MCQs. So the first question is, which is correct about the reaction condition for synthesis of diastereomers. So voltage was taken 1.1 ratio 1.7, micro condition was used, and conventional method was used for 50 minutes, sitting at 45 degrees centigrade. So all are correct. The correct reaction conditions. Okay. So which amino acid contains selenium atom in its structure? So we have discussed here about the methionine, which contains selenium atom. Which diastereomer of methionine with chemical degradation and silute later from HPLC column. So uh, with the diastereomer of methionine, L L diastereomer of the methionine was actually the eluted first, and L diastereomer was eluted first, and LD diastereomer was eluted later. Resolution methionine diastereomer was best where chiral auxiliary was used. In case of the SDLC, the resolution data was very good. Okay, because the SDLC contains more hydrophobic groups, benzyl groups, right? And the benzyl groups actually not only the benzyl groups, CH2S, CH2, CH2S, C6H5 group, and that is the more hydrophobic group and interact for more time with the stationary phase. Okay, and their distribution are also different. That's the reason why the diastereomer methionine with the CDR containing SBLCS chiral auxiliary have the good resolution value. Okay, which chromatographic condition is not correct in chiral mobile phase diffuse approach for suppression of cellular methionine using minus quinine as chiral selector? When PLC was performed, where approach C, parallel mobile facilities approach was used. So in this case, the mobile phase used was this, development time was 10 minutes, and detection was made in anhydrous solution. These are correct. The third one is easy. This is the mobile phase. This mobile phase is not used because in the parallel mobile phase additive approach, parallel selector is also used with the mobile phase. Here not chiral selector. Well, there is the chiral selector minus 20 with the mobile phase. So this is the correct option. This is actually incorrect statement, or you can say incorrect condition of the regulation. So this is correct option. Now this is which is correct resolution value diastereomer of methionine with S nitrogen in gradient condition. So this was 22.57. You have already seen in the table. What are correct reaction conditions for synthesis of diastereomers of selenium methionine with DFDNP based CDR? All are the correct conditions. Mole ratio was taken 1 ratio 1.7, micro condition used here 55 seconds at 75% power of 800 volt. And the conventional method used here for 50 minutes. All are the correct options. Correct conditions of this diazotization. So D is the correct option in this question. And the question number 8, what is full form of DFDNB? So 1,5 difluoro 2,4 dinitrobenzene is correct option. Which is full form of CDR? This is chiral diptizing doesn't. The option is correct. and which reagent is used to detect chromogram of amino acids. Inheriting reagent is used to detect chromogram of amino acid. So these are the MCQs. So that's it. I hope you got the information concept about this topic and enantiomeric separation of selenium methionine using liquid chromatography method and PLC and FLC methods. Okay. But still, if you have any type of query, doubt, questions in your mind, then you can ask question from me. You can tell me. Okay. I will clarify each and everything. Thank you. Have a good day.